Hello everybody. This week our project is going to be Starry Night, based off of a painting created by Van Gogh. As you can see here, we have several layers and textures going on, and we're going to take it step by step, and this will be Starry Night Step 1. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and we want to go to the gallery, and up here at the top, we're going to do the plus sign, and we're going to choose screen size, which is the very first option. We're going to take our fingers and pinch and twist. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw some of the scenery. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we're using the right brush. So we're going to go up to the brushes. We're going to go all the way down to calligraphy, and we're going to choose the monoline brush. We're going to choose our color, which is black. So if you don't have black here, you can just double tap in the black area and the pure black will come up. And we're going to adjust our brush to be about, I'm going to say 10%. Let me see what 20 looks like. Let's do 20%. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the heels. So we're going to go make sure we're off the canvas. This is the canvas. And we're going to draw a line going down and make sure you go all the way off. If this happens, just use your 2-finger tap to undo. And then we're going to start over here and we're going to come down. Now, I don't like how high that is, so I'm going to do a 2-finger tap to get rid of that line. Now, if you go over the line, you want to make sure to grab the eraser and erase. I'm going to go back to my brush, and now I'm going to draw in some curved lines. Making sure to start off the page or off the canvas and draw off the canvas there. So we're going to come here, and I don't like how that looks, and I don't know what that is there. Okay, and just match up with the line. You want to make sure that all the lines touch, because if they don't, then when we go to color drop, it will spread across the entire page here. So now we're going to go up to the layers. We're going to add a layer. And on this layer, we're going to draw the sky background. Now in the sky, we're going to do some kind of curves here. Maybe a curve coming here. And you could just draw it whichever way you'd like to draw it. Making sure that lines touch and some go off the page. Okay, now if anything is overlapping, you want to make sure to erase it. Now that you feel comfortable with this, I can see here that I need to go in and erase right there. So I'm going to go back to that layer, grab my eraser, and make sure I get up close there. All right, this looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine these two layers together, and you can do that by pinching your fingers, or you can go to the top layer, tap on it, and click merge down. We're going to go ahead and add a layer on top. And right now we're just going to turn this layer off right here so that we don't see it. We're going to grab our brush and we're going to draw a circle. So watch what I do with my hands. I'm going to draw a circle and I'm going to keep my stylus down, and you see it turn to an oval, but I want it to be a circle. So I'm going to tap, I'm going to lift up, with my stylus and then lift up with my finger. And I see that I drew something there. That's okay. So now I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to draw it, hold, tap with my finger, lift, and lift. Do that one more time. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, look what happened. I chose white by accident. So just go back and grab my black. Hold, tap with my finger, let go, and let go. So this one in particular, okay, I see that there's white in there, so that's going to cause a problem. So I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to come in and I'm going to erase everything, because remember I had accidentally turned on the white. Okay, I've got it all. So I'm going to come back and I can drag this to be as big or as small as I want. Okay, now I'm going to go to the arrow and I'm going to make this one a bit large, because this is going to represent kind of like our moon or a big star. Now I need to duplicate this like 5 times. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, make sure I'm on that layer, hit the arrow key, and I'm going to touch outside of the square and move it over. Now this is too big for a star, so I'm going to grab the corner and make it small, and then I'm going to place it where I want it to go. Now I'm going to duplicate the small star instead of the big star. That way I don't have to repeat myself resizing it over and over again. Touch the arrow, move the star. Duplicate, touch the arrow, move the star. Duplicate, touch the arrow, move the star. And I probably want to do one more. And put that down here. So now we're going to go back and we're going to turn this layer back on down here at the way at the bottom. Okay, look at that. You see that? You see the lines going through? So the first thing you want to do is just look around and make sure that's where you want your stars to be. And if you're okay with where those stars are at, we're going to go in and erase the lines outside of the stars and the moon. So we're going to go down to this layer here. We're going to choose the eraser. Now if your eraser is not monoline, make sure you tap it, and then you can go down to calligraphy and choose the monoline brush to be your eraser. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and enlarge my screen, and I'm going to erase the line that is inside. Now make sure you're on that layer down at the bottom, not the star layers, but the drawing, the background drawing. And then I can come in here and be real careful and erase. And I'm going to come and do that in each one. Be careful not to go outside of that circle. Okay. There you go. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to increase the size of my eraser because this is really big up here. So I'm just going to go in and just be careful not to go outside the circle. Okay, we're going to pinch and take a look. Okay, that looks great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the grass. But first, we're going to join all of these layers together. So we're going to pinch, or you could have tapped it and merged down. So I'm going to add a layer on top, choose black, go back to my pencil, and on the heels, I'm just going to do a V shape with a line in it. And this just represents grass. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. I don't like that. And we can do it here. And then we can do it on this side. Awesome. So this completes step 1. In this video, we are going to be working on the Starry Night step 2. But first, let's name our file. So you should go to your stack and go to your Van Gogh or your Starry Night picture, and you want to tap on the title so that it looks something like this. And then right here, you can go in and you can write Starry Night. And if you can't write it, then you can always go down to the bottom down here and open up the keypad and you can type it in. So once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and open up our project. I like to kind of squish mine in a little bit, like that. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to merge these 2 layers together because this is the background. So I'm going to tap it and merge down, or you can pinch it. We're going to tap on the layer here and we're going to choose rename. And I'm going to scribble through it and I'm going to put the word drawing in its place. So during this project, not at any time should we add color to the drawing. The color should not be added to the drawing at all. Okay, so I'm going to add a layer by clicking the plus sign. And on this layer, I'm going to add my blues. So I'm going to choose blues in my sky. Now you can choose any 2 or 3 colors for your sky that you want. And I'm going to change the name by clicking on the layer, rename, scribbling through, and I'm going to title this layer blue so that I know all of my blue colors are going to be on this one layer. I'm going to tap my color to open it up. And I'm going to choose a blue. Once I've done that, I'm going to tap it and drag it to a layer. But see what happens? The whole thing filled up. Okay, so we forgot to do a step. So let's go back to the layers, go back to the drawing layer, tap it, and choose reference. Then go back to my blue layer, and now when I drag it in, it's only going to go in the section that I drag it into. So I'm going to come here and come over here to do my blue. In fact, I don't like that, so I'm going to undo that with 2 fingers. So here, and you know what, I am going to do this. Okay, then I'm going to go and I'm going to change my color. So now that I'm ready to change my color, I'm going to add the plus sign for a new layer. I'm going to rename it, and in this color it's going to be purple. Okay, I'm going to go and choose the purple that I want to use. Come back and drag where I want the purple to go. And let's see, do I want it to go anywhere else? No, I think that's good. So now I should have this layer for blue and a layer for purple. So I'm going to add my last sky color. I'm going to do a plus sign. I'm going to change the name. I'm going to change the name to pink. I'm going to go and choose pink. And now I'm going to click and drag the pink where I want it to go. I've just finished the background of the sky. So now I'm going to do the earth. Now you can choose any colors you'd like. The earth does not have to be green. So I'm going to do the plus sign, tap it, rename it, and I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to do dark green. So D green. Remember, you can do any color you'd like. So I'm going to move it over to the green, go a little darker, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to drag my color. Go back up to my layers, add another layer, and I'm going to rename it by tapping it. Oops, tap it. There we go. And this one's going to be light green, L green. And I'm just going to change it ever so slightly and come up a little bit there. And now I'm going to drop the color. This is called color dropping, is what we're doing. Okay, now I see there's a section of the sky that I forgot to do. So I need to decide what color I want it to be, and I think I want it to be the blue. So I'm going to go down to the blue, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to get that color exactly. So what do? We do this. We hold our finger down until the color picker pops up. Do you see that? I'll do that again. You should see the color picker. So no matter where you drag your finger, it will change to that color. So I want the blue. Now I'm going to come down and fill in the blue sky. Oh, I forgot that looping. You know what? I think I want it to be purple. I don't have enough purple in the sky. So I'm going to pull down. There we go. My next items are going to be the stars and the moon. So what I want to do is make sure I'm at the top up here when I add a layer. Okay, I'm going to add the layer. And this one I'm going to title yellow. I'm going to go choose my yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to color drop. Going to add another layer, and I'm going to rename this one why orange? So yellow orange. Okay, so I'm going to move that ever so slightly and then come in and drag those. Okay, so we're going to drop that orange. Now watch what happens up here. Continue filling. So if I click that, then I can come in and tap. And then tap. Oop, don't want that to happen. 2-finger undo. Okay. So now I'm going to go to one more layer, rename it, and this one's going to be called orange. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to pick the orange color, drop it, continue filling. There we go. Now I have all of my colors filled in. So sometimes what happens is when you fill the colors in, the drawing part actually becomes kind of faded or not as brilliant. So what we want to do is we want to take the drawing and we want to hover over it, and you can do it with your finger. Once it wiggles, you can move it all the way up to the top, and then everything becomes bold again. So I'll do that again one more time. Okay, so it should be at the bottom here. You hold your finger till it moves, and then you drag it all the way up to the top, and then it makes everything pop again. So this is the completed step 2. We are moving to step 3. And step 3 is where we're going to add texture to this design. And if we go and look at brushes, there are several different types of brush sets here that you can find different textures. So if you go in and look in materials, there's different textures there. Water, there's textures there. Industrial, we can also go up to, you should see a set that says WIA Set 1. That has a whole bunch of textures in it. And WIA Set 2 has a bunch of textures in it. So this is how it works. So you go to your layers, and you're going to start at the very bottom, the very first color layer that you have there. Let's start at the very bottom. And then you're going to click the plus sign, and then tap the layer. And then you're going to choose clipping mask right here, clipping mask. So what that does is that attaches this layer to just the blue areas. That means nothing that if you try to color on the outside of the blue areas, it will not show up. So let me show you how that works. So making sure I'm on my clipping mask for the blue, I'm going to choose a different color. So I'm going to choose, let's see, maybe a light pink color here. Okay, and then I'm going to come here to my brush, and I'm going to choose a texture. Now you can choose whatever textures you want. So I'm going to choose the pixie dust. I'm going to increase the size of the brush over here, and then I'm just going to go over the blue, and as you can see, the design is not going outside of the blue. It is staying inside of that blue area. So you want to make sure that your clipping mask is clipped to your color below it. So let's do it again. So now I'm going to move up to my next color. I'm going to tap the plus sign. I'm going to tap the layer, and I'm going to choose clipping mask. I'm going to choose a color, and let's see, we are on the purple layer, so I'm going to do orange, I think. Maybe a light orange. And I'm going to choose a texture, And now I'm going to go over that area. Now you see how big that is? I don't care for that. So I'm going to do a 2-finger tap to undo. And I'm going to lower the size of the brush. And now I'm going to go over the purple. And as you can see, I'm going outside of the purple, but it's not going outside of the purple when I draw over it. Even though my stylus is going outside of the purple, it's not doing that. And that is because that layer is attached to the color below it. So now I'm going to go up to the pink, add a layer, tap that layer, turn on clipping mask, and now I'm going to change the color, I think, to yellow. I'm going to grab another brush. Let's see, I'm going to try this set here. Okay. And now I'm going to go over the pink. So now my sky is finished. So I'm going to go back to my layers and I'm going to go up to the next color. The next color is the dark green. I'm going to tap it, tap the plus sign, tap the layer, and choose clipping mask. So this is going to be the dark green, and I think I'm going to go with, let's see if it's the dark green there. I may come a little bit right here. And for this one, I'm going to choose something that looks kind of floral. And now I'm going to go over. Now see that? I don't like that color. So I'm going to undo. Let's see, let's go up to about right there. Now let's try that. Okay, that's better. Now do I want it that small? I don't think so. So I'm going to enlarge. There we go. Once again, it's not going outside of the lines because it is attached. It is clipped and attached to the layer below it. Now I'm going to go up to the next one. Add a layer. Turn on clipping mask. And for this one, I think I'm going to go with a pink. And I'm going to pick another floral design. Oh wait, I'm going to do the flower design here. Okay, so you see how big that is? I don't want it to be that big, so I'm going to shrink the size. And now I have a beautiful design at the bottom. So the last thing to go, or to do I should say, would be the stars. So I'm going to choose the yellow, add a layer, tap the layer, choose clipping mask. And for this, I think I'm just going to, let's do red. Try to see what red looks like. And I'm going to look for a very small design. Let me go back to the other one. And once again, you can go through any of these designs you'd like. Oh, look how big that is. So I'm going to lower that down. Okay. Go to the next color, hit the plus sign, tap the layer, choose clipping mask. And now I'm going to move up, and I think I'll do like this dark orange. And I can either keep the same texture, or I can change it up. But see how big that is? I don't like that. So I'm going to minimize it and then go over. And we've got one more color. So we're going to come up to the orange, We're going to click the plus sign. We're going to turn on clipping mask. And for this one, I am going to do yellow. Or let's do, how about white? I'm going to try white. Okay. I'll come down here and there we go. Awesome. This looks phenomenal. So now what you're going to do, this completes step 3. And we're just going to add some final touches. So what you want to do is go up to your layers. Your drawing layer is up here at the, should be up here at the very top. So I'm going to go up here at the very top. So I'm going to go down one layer and then hit the plus sign to put a blank layer between those two. I'm going to choose the color white, and I'm going to do the calligraphy monoline brush, and I'm going to do my brush size probably to about 15, and then I'm just going to go in and add some dashes to my design just to give it a little extra look. I'm not going to do all of the sky that way. I'm just going to basically put it in my purple here because that's the darker color. Okay, that looks good. Just to give it a little extra. And then I'm going to make flowers down in the grass below. Now you're probably thinking, oh, you know, I don't want to draw flowers. But basically it's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to go and I'm going to pick a color that I like. Maybe pink. I think I'll go with pink, a bright pink. And I'm going to increase the brush size of my calligraphy over here to, I'm going to try 50% and see how that looks. And so I'm going to start, I don't want to do any on the very top row, but I can just go here and I'm just going to add these little dots to make it look like flowers. And then I'll come over here and do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to change my color to, I think I'm going to do blue this time. Nice blue color, and then go in and add some blue flowers there. Oh, and I forgot some down here. And some here. I'm not going to put it on every row. And let me go back to the pink. In fact, I'll just color pick the pink. And you can add as many flowers as you want. It's really simple how to do that. You can add any extras that you want to add to the picture. You just don't want to do way too much because then it's going to be just very, very, you know, crowded looking. Once you're finished with the final touches, you're going to save your work as a JPEG